Well, welcome and thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Lauren Burris.
And I'm Cameron No.
At least 2 people are dead after 2 small... Coming up, a fatal airplane collision results in 2 deaths. We have the details.
New York City Mayor Adams is facing charges for fraud. Find out what this means for the city.
President Donald Trump is imposing tariffs on the imports to the U.S. See how this affects auto and pharmaceutical imports.
U.S. Airlines is putting a fine on passengers for damaged wheelchairs. See how this will affect the handicapped.
And I'm tracking those continuing cold conditions. NewsLink Indiana starts now.
Local news about local people, live from Ball State Unified Media. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Welcome and thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Lauren Burris.
And I'm Cameron No.
At least 2 people are dead after 2 small airplanes collided mid-air in Arizona.
Today's collision at Marana Regional Airport involved Cessna and Lancair aircrafts.
Federal air safety investigators said each plane had 2 people aboard when they collided mid-air at the airport. One plane landed and the other hit the ground near a runway and caught fire, said the National Transportation Safety Board, which is leading the investigation. The Marana Police Department confirmed that the 2 people killed were aboard one aircraft and said responders did not have a chance to provide medical treatment. Sergeant Vincent Rizzi said the 2 people on the other plane were uninjured.
Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency claims it saved taxpayers billions, but the numbers aren't adding up.
According to Doge's website, its efforts have saved taxpayers about $55 billion.
Included in that number was $8 billion in savings through a canceled contract, but the Immigration and Customs Enforcement contract was actually worth only $8 million. Today, the department's website updated the contract's amount, but did not change the $55 billion total. Doge did not acknowledge the error or explain how it might affect its calculations.
New York City Mayor Eric Adams and the Justice Department were in court today.
A federal judge was considering a DOJ motion to dismiss the Adams case.
Adams is facing federal charges related to bribery, wire fraud, and conspiracy. He's accused of illegal actions dating back to 2014. The judge on today declined to make a ruling for now. Judge Dale Ho told the court he did not want to shoot from the hip on a decision. He said he will take the appropriate time to consider everything presented in the motion. Adams has said he's innocent of the charges against him.
President Donald Trump plans to impose tariffs around 25% on auto imports,
as well as semiconductor chips and pharmaceuticals shipped to the United States.
The new tariffs could begin as early as April. For tariffs on semiconductor chips and drugs, the president intends to eventually increase the rate, but he said he wants to give time for potentially affected companies to bring their factories to America. Trump recently enacted a 10% across-board tariff on goods coming from China and 25% tariffs on all steel and aluminum imports.
Environmental advocates have filed their first climate-related lawsuit against the Trump administration.
They're challenging President Trump's order to reopen millions of acres of U.S. waters to fossil fuel drilling.
Former President Biden had worked to protect those waters, banning drilling in 625 million acres of the water in the Atlantic, Pacific, Alaska, and the Gulf, in a way that would require an act of Congress to undo it. The plaintiffs say Trump's order is therefore illegal. Climate advocates say they defeated Trump the first time he tried to roll back existing protections.
A group of U.S. airlines is appealing a Department of Transportation rule.
It's a rule that puts carriers at fault for damaged or lost wheelchairs, scooters, and other mobility devices.
The Biden-era policy increases penalties for damaged devices. It also requires better training, reimbursement for transport, and prompt repairs or replacements. The airlines, including American, Delta, JetBlue, Southwest, and United, joined the lobbying group, Airlines for America, and their peer. They argue the mandate is overreaching and unlawful since some situations like turbulence are out of their control. Did you know that when it's super cold out, they have to de-ice airplanes?
I did not know that. What?
I think
That's
it's
so
crazy.
Well, speaking of planes, I wonder how many flights have been delayed and how many people are stuck at the airport with like the weather recently too. So
Yeah, let's hear from Joe for weather.
We're going to have to keep de-icing those planes because it's another cold night outside. It is 17 degrees here in Muncie, 17 in Indianapolis, 14 in Lafayette, so another night below the 20-degree mark. And we're going to keep cooling down as we go into tonight. 17 degrees by 11 a.m., cooling all the way down to 10 degrees by the morning tomorrow. So certainly keep those coats on and bundle up as you go to work. But the good news is there is a warm-up on the way. I am tracking that, cold wind chill, sunny skies, and a weekend warm-up in my full weather forecast.
A new arts nonprofit called the Vor Arts Fund aims to finance local artists, musicians, and performers.
The new organization looks to fund the Muncie community of creative individuals by providing forgivable loans to support projects. NewsLink Indiana's Jack Wolf reports.
The Vor Arts Fund is getting ready to begin online voting to determine which local art project should receive a $500 award. Made possible through public donations, this unique loan allows the Muncie public to vote on a local project to be awarded with the funding. Vor Arts Fund President Graham Watson explains what he hopes this organization can give up-and-coming artists.
The Vor Arts Fund is intended to help people who are trying to make money from producing art, who are struggling with covering the upfront costs of doing those things, by offering them zero interest, unconditionally forgivable loans.
Vice President Natalie Phillips discusses the goals the fund has in mind for its future.
We hope that it'll give back to the people of Muncie and strengthen our community financially and culturally. So it's an experimental, innovative program. We don't know where the heck it's going, but I think that's okay.
Any artist over 18 years old in Muncie is eligible to apply for this award, including Ball State students. One award applicant, Jennifer Amos, talks about how this loan can help artists such as herself.
I want to be able to help people with self-esteem, or they're having issues, to be able to create, paint a box, whatever it is, and know that they did their best. And if that's something they love doing, just to keep doing it, it gets better.
In Muncie, Jack Wolf, NewsLink, Indiana.
To apply for the loan, vote on an artist, donate to the fund, or learn more about the organization. Visit vorartsfund.org.
Around the corner, there are many local shops here in Muncie. One, which is a boutique that caters to people who have a hard time finding their style.
Reporter Andy Zelaya goes behind the scenes of Whimsy's boutique.
When shopping for clothes, they can either be really comfortable but not the most flattering outfit, or it's stylish but uncomfortable. Whimsy's is an award-winning boutique whose goal is to provide comfortable but stylish clothing to the Muncie residents. Owner Judith Gill started the store around 6.5 years ago. What started as an online store is now a place for people to find their own cozy style. The clothes being comfortable in the store is not her only priority. Gill tries to make sure that her customers feel welcomed as well.
We can offer private shopping. Say that there's somebody that's trans and they're not comfortable coming in the middle of the day with our regular customers. We can set up an after hours shopping and bring their friends, and they can model for each other. Or, the same goes for people that might have sensory issues or anxiety around crowds. We're happy to accommodate all those things.
Within the store, there are a variety of patterns and designs. The inspiration comes from 3 local artists who work with Gill to bring her ideations to life. No matter what Gill suggests, the artists take on any request. She not only has the support from the artists, but she has the same continued encouragement from her family and the public. Gill's theme of using local artists comes from how she values shopping locally in general.
Here, pick another local place. If you're going out to eat and you have an option between a big chain and a locally owned place, you can make a difference. I mean, you'd be surprised how few people it takes to make a difference. And if you can't afford to shop right now, even just sharing and spreading the word helps a lot.
The store speaks for itself, as it has won multiple awards. Whimsy's was named Best Boutique and Spirit of Small Business, all which were voted by the public. This is proof that the store will continue to help those find their own comfy style. In Muncie, Andy Zelaya, NewsLink, Indiana.
If you want to check out the clothes themselves, you can go to their website, whimsys.shop, or go to the Whimsys Facebook page.
Coming up, attorneys for Sean Diddy Combs are requesting a dismissal for one of his charges. Find out the reasoning for this request.
And a court case involving rapper A$AP Rocky came to a verdict. Find out what the decision is after the break.
Hey, boss. Okay.
Said I'm fine.
Me the bed, see you in the morning with the frosted Superman, but it wasn't on it, and we lost it.
You can talk to me.
It's been really hard for me.
Hey there, Hoosiers. Are you ready to give your child a head start on their future? Indiana 529 savings plans are a simple way to save for their education. Plus, there are some great tax benefits. The best part? It's not just for college. Indiana 529 can be used for tech schools, trade programs, apprenticeships, and more. Start with just $10 a month at myindiana529.com to help them reach their dreams.
I've always loved space and football. Growing up, some people told me I had to choose. But here's the deal. You can be great at more than one thing. And getting involved in STEM opens up your world to a universe of opportunities in life.
This is my time.
Get inspired and get involved today. There are STEM programs and science centers available in your community, so be sure to check out spaceforall.us to learn more and get started.
This is my time. There ain't no doubt in my mind.
Find your place in space.
This is my time.
Space for all.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Attorneys for Sean Diddy Combs are asking a federal court to dismiss one of the 3 charges against him.
And that charge is transportation to engage in prostitution.
It is being prosecuted under the Mann Act, previously known as the White Slave Traffic Act. Combs' attorney says the charge is racist. They say the law has only ever been used to target black men. Prosecutors call the claim of racism baseless. Combs is pleading not guilty to 2 other federal charges, racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking.
Actress Blake Lively has filed an amended complaint to her sexual harassment claim against Justin Baldoni.
It goes into more detail involving other women on the set of the film It Ends With Us.
Lively says one other woman in particular on the set reported unwelcome behavior by Baldoni shortly after she did. Those complaints were allegedly lodged with the film's producers and a representative for Sony. Lively claims Sony shared the information with Baldoni. She says he responded to the other woman in writing, saying he would make adjustments. Neither Baldoni nor his attorney have commented on the amendment.
Rapper A$AP Rocky was found not guilty yesterday of 2 felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm. He was facing up to 24 years if convicted.
The case stemmed from a 2021 incident between the hip-hop artist and a former friend.
A$AP Rocky, whose legal name is Rakeem Mayers, had argued that the weapon was a prop gun and only fired blanks. He claimed his former friend was using the lawsuit to get money. Mayers, a longtime partner of singer and businesswoman Rihanna, didn't testify in the trial, but expressed his appreciation to the jury after the verdict was read.
It's cold out there, but a warm-up is on the way. Find out more after the break.
People want to define Gen Z, but that's our job.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital. I put out a forest fire. I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives. And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Did you know that 9 out of 10 Americans are sick of the divisions in our country? But there's one small step we can take to remember that we're still connected. All over America, strangers with different political views are coming together to talk about their lives, not politics, and discovering they actually have a lot in common. Because even if we don't see eye to eye, we can still talk heart to heart. So let's talk for a change. Learn more at takeonesmallstep.org. NewsLink.org.
Emma, did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Welcome back. If you're like me, you're probably sick of these cold temperatures, but the good news is there is relief on the way. Let's take a look at this map of the United States. Above average temperatures in much of the western part of the country that are going to be slowly making their way towards us over time. As you can see, Indiana, within the next 6 to 10 days, mostly just average temperatures, but like I said, those above average temperatures are going to be making their way to us later on. But sadly, we do have to slog through some pretty cold temperatures to begin with, including tonight, 17 degrees here in Muncie, 16 in Newcastle, and 19 up in Portland. So chilly out there tonight. Time to keep that coat out if you go outside, and just try and stay bundled up as we go throughout the evening. And this is going to continue as we go into tomorrow as well. Take a look at these wind chills when you go out the door. 5 degrees in Muncie, 6 degrees in Marion, 5 degrees below in Anderson. So very cold outside when you go out the door tomorrow morning. But the good news is that as we go over time, here we are on Friday by the mid-afternoon, we're going to be seeing, 12 degrees wind chill for the overnight hours there in Muncie, and we are just going to be seeing a slight warm-up as we go over time. So might have to keep that coat out for much longer. But let's take a look at that radar right now. Snow is making its way into our viewing area. Some light snow showers with heavier bands down south towards Indianapolis. We're going to see around maybe an inch of snow this evening, so nothing too crazy, but again, that can make the roads possibly slick as you go outside, both in the morning and tonight. So take precaution when you're driving. Tonight, 8-degree low with snow showers. The wind's going to be a little bit blustery, blowing northwest at 10 miles per hour and gusting up to 20. So that added wind chill is going to make things a little bit colder as you go outside today. This snow is going to stay throughout the evening. As you can see, most of the showers are going to be around midnight tonight. They'll make our way out of our viewing area around noon tomorrow, and then the clouds are going to linger up until Friday, and we're going to finally see that sun start to pop out and get mostly clear skies as we go throughout the week. But let's focus on tomorrow first. Cloudy conditions at 8 a.m., staying cloudy until around 5 when those clouds finally start to break. But we're going to have one more day of really chilly temperatures, starting at 10 degrees before we all warm up to 19 degrees. So not a huge improvement, but only, again, like I said, those warmth is almost back. Those winds will be blowing pretty breezy tomorrow, northwest, 10 to 15 miles per hour throughout the day. Now, I keep talking about that warm-up. This is a nice linear increase for the next 5 days. We're going to go from below average to above average temperatures all in the next 5 days. And that average of 39 sounds really good right now, but it's going to feel even better when we're at 47 degrees next Monday. Now, like I keep talking about that warmth, I'm just really placing a lot of emphasis on that because it's been cold recently. 26 Friday, 38 Sunday, and then we're going to get into the 40s by Monday and Tuesday next week. And that sun's going to be making an appearance again with a mostly sunny weekend. And even those lows are going to be above the freezing level towards the next work week. So despite this cold stretch, it looks like we're finally getting to those spring temperatures.
That's awesome. I was just thinking about how coming back from spring break will be so hard going from warm weather to cold weather, but it's great to see a rise in temperatures.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the sun to finally come out. Well, thank you, Joe. There's lots more to get to on NewsLink Indiana. Jake Dickman has a preview of sports.
Thanks, Lauren and Cameron. One Ball State athlete shines post-injury, and another Cardinal squad looks to stay undefeated in the MAC tonight. All this and more, next in sports.
Be right there. Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Students who can read by the end of 3rd grade are 35% more likely to graduate. I'm Dr. Katie Jenner, Indiana Secretary of Education, here to tell you how reading 30 minutes per day can improve the trajectory of a child's life. Whether you're reading with your child or they are reading independently, this is one of the most important things you can do to help them succeed. So this school year, please encourage your child to continue reading. It's a small habit that makes a big difference.
Food isn't just fuel to live, it's fuel to grow. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love for acting. The Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. When people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger, and together we can open endless possibilities for people to thrive. Visit feedingamerica.org/actnow.
At night, NewsLink Indiana brings you the news before you go to bed. But Friday mornings, you're waking up with Cardinal Weather, bringing you up to speed on the day's top stories.
And giving you up-to-the-minute conditions from the Ball State Weather Center.
And of course, lots of fun.
I gave mine personality. Look, it's got eyebrows.
Ooh.
My lucky glove didn't even work.
But I also am excited for those fall temperatures.
Start your Friday mornings with Cardinal Weather, live on the Cardinal Weather Facebook page.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Jake Dickman with sports. After a year away due to injury, Ethan Britton Watts continues to make his return to the court. NewsLink Indiana's Dakota Atwood finds out more.
After transferring to Ball State in April of 2023, Ethan Britton Watts wouldn't play a game for the Cardinals. Now, almost 2 years later, he's coming into his own on the court. But to get here took a lot.
Anybody who knows or has had surgery before knows that it takes about 4 to 5 months before you're yourself again. The actual rehab process itself was only 4 to 8 weeks, so after that, it's kind of me getting back in shape and getting back in the groove of things, getting my rhythm back. But yeah, I've been good since the summer, so I'm 100% healthy.
Ethan, 100% healthy, helping the Cardinals in every way possible to win, knowingly that last year helped.
But it was a learning experience. I got to sit, watch the MAC all year, see how teams operate both offensively and defensively, and just be a sponge to Coach Lewis. You know, I was right at the end of the bench. You know, he paces back and forth, so I'm always in his ear just seeing what he sees out there and learning from him. So, yeah, I got to learn a lot last year.
Head coach of the Cardinals knows the process of sitting out has helped Ethan become a better basketball player.
Last year, being able to sit and watch and see the game through a different lens, opened his eyes to some things.
Lewis later went on to say, this back half of the season, Ethan has played much more into the level that they anticipated and has been a major impact on the program. The Cardinals look to secure a spot in Cleveland to compete for a conference championship and a trip to the NCAA tournament. In Muncie, Dakota Atwood, NewsLink, Indiana.
To stay on the hardwood, Muncie Central boys basketball had their senior night Tuesday evening, with the attention now shifting to sectionals. NewsLink Indiana's Calvin Scott has more.
Last night, Muncie Central Bearcats faced off against their Delaware County rival, the Yorktown Tigers, on senior night. Although the Bearcats fell to the Tigers 63-50, they look to stay optimistic as sectionals are only 2 games away. Junior shooting guard Shamar Taylor is only focused on adding 1 letter to the Bearcats' record moving forward.
We just need to get these 2 last dubs because, if we get these 2 last dubs, that just brings more momentum for sectionals.
The Bearcats are well aware of what is at stake coming up for sectionals. Junior power forward Terry Miles expressed that head coach Justin Ullum always lets the team know that the results are all up to you depending on how badly you want it.
Our coaches always say, we got to be motivated. If we want to play, we got to be motivated. So, the coaches really don't got to say that to us. If we want to play, then we play. If we don't, we don't.
Making the most of any situation, no matter the obstacles and adversity that come with it, is nothing new for the Bearcats. Taylor recounts that most of the team were unfamiliar with each other, but still managed to assemble soundly.
Probably us coming all together because half of us was on JV last year and like 3 or 4 of us from varsity. Then we had 2 or 3 more freshmen come up and we just had to all come in together.
In Muncie, Calvin Scott, NewsLink, Indiana.
Keeping things on the court, Ball State women's basketball travels to Toledo to take on the Rockets tonight. After clinching a spot in the MAC tournament over the weekend with a 5-point victory at Eastern Michigan, the Cardinals are looking to stay perfect in MAC play. Their 12-0 start has the Cards sitting atop the MAC standings by 3 games over second-place Toledo. A win tonight would have extended that gap to 4 games over the Rockets, but the Cardinals fell in a close one, 70-66, for their first MAC loss in 362 days. Now, it's sad to see the women lose, but it's also great to see Ethan Britton Watts back on the court after a year away.
Yeah, and it's inspiring that he is also there and on the court and watching his teammates play too, because he's still involved, and I don't know, it's just really inspiring.
Yeah, I think it's great that he's willing to share his, story and journey of recovery and on how he got back to the court.
Absolutely, and he's even said it's like 4 or 5 months before you start to feel like yourself again, so that's a long time to not feel like yourself.
Right, definitely scares me to get injured if I was playing a sport.
Yeah, there definitely has to be some mental battles that you go through too, just watching your team play without you, and you're recovering from surgery.
Right, I know he's definitely happy to get back on the court. So.
Absolutely, I would be too.
Yeah, thanks Jake. Coming up, a host has been announced for the Tony Awards, how she continues to defy gravity.
And one last look at weather.
Yarr! All I wanted was my treasure, and I wound up with a lawsuit from my neighbors! And a belly full of regret.
Thanks, Salty Pete. What a powerful dig story. Okay, great class, everybody. Before we go, let's stand and say the safe digging pledge. Shovels don't know right from wrong, but I do. And always contact Indiana 811 at least 2 working days before digging. It's the only way to dig.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cynthia Erivo will host this year's Tony Awards.
The Wicked star already has a Tony of her own in 2016 for her role as Celie in The Color Purple.
And she's nominated for an Academy Award for her performance in Wicked. Erivo is an Oscar win away from achieving the coveted EGOT status for those who hold an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony Award. Nominations for the Tony Awards will be announced on May 1st. The ceremony will be held at Radio City Music Hall in New York and will be broadcast and streamed on June 8th. Now, I personally haven't seen the Wicked movie, but I've heard it's great. Joe, have you seen it?
I have not seen it.
I've seen it. It's awesome. I mean, you can get it now on Amazon Prime to rent it or buy it.
That's great, considering that I don't even want to go out in the cold weather, so
yeah,
maybe
well,
stay home.
Speaking of that cold weather, it's not going to be here for much longer. It's going to be 19 tomorrow, 26 on Friday, and then we're going to get back into the 30s by the weekend before, look at those Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday numbers. Upper 40s. It's about time we get out of this second winter period. Those lows are going to be above freezing towards next week as well, and that sunshine is going to peek through to add to that. So it's finally time to maybe take those jackets off and start enjoying that spring weather.
Awesome, thanks Joe. That's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night at 9, streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page and YouTube channel.
And for news anytime, anywhere, just go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night and stay safe.